Hi everyone, welcome back. So we have been discussing on phylum Platyhelminthes. We looked into the characteristic features of Platyhelminthes, the classification of Platyhelminthes being classified into three classes: Turbolaria, Trematura, and Cestura. And as type species, we will be learning more in detail on Dugesia. Now, Dugesia, it comes under phylum Platyhelminthes class Turbolaria, and it is found commonly in freshwater ponds, lakes, streams, and shallow rivers. Platyhelminthes, the phylum includes both free-living as well as parasitic forms. More of parasitic forms are being known, but free-living forms are included under Turbolaria, and Dugesia is a typical example of free-living Turbolaria. Okay. And it is usually found in freshwater aquatic bodies. And it prefers to keep to the bottom of the water bodies, where it is found to rest or glide on the undersurface of stones and on aquatic leaves, etc. They are usually gregarious in habit, that is, they live in groups. Okay, when they are located, they are usually found in groups. Regarding the external morphology, Dugesia has a bilateral symmetry, as you can see. Belonging to Platyhelminthes, their body is highly flattened, elongated, leaf-like, and with a slimy and somewhat transparent body wall. The dorsal surface is a little darker than the ventral surface. Now, speaking about the body divisions, the anterior end of the body is differentiated into a broad, blunt, triangular head, as you can see over here, this triangular head, and dorsally, the head bears a pair of prominent dark spots, and it represents the eye. And laterally, on its either side, you can see a small projection, and this projection is what is referred as the auricles. Behind the auricles, you can see the body is somewhat constricted over here, and this part can be considered as the neck region. Right? And beyond this, the body gradually tapers down towards the posterior end. Okay, so this is the body division and external morphological features. The Dugesia, they are provided with fine hair-like locomotory cilia, usually covering the ventral surface. You can see here, these are the ciliated zones. Okay, all along the ventral surface, they do have cilia, except for a narrow strip along the margin. You can see all along the margin. It is marked. So the darker area here, the cilia are absent, and this is like known as adhesive zone. As the name suggests, it is adhesive in function. Right. Now coming back to the external apertures, on the ventral surface, you can see here mouth. It is an oval aperture, unlike any other organism where mouth is located towards the anterior end. In the case of Dugesia, mouth is placed on the ventral surface in the median line, but a little behind the middle of the body. Okay, and usually the pharynx. This part is actually the pharynx, which is supposed to be inside. But during feeding, this pharynx it is protruded through the mouth for capturing the prey, and this everted pharynx it is referred as proboscis. Okay, you can see here the opening of pharynx, right? And the anal opening is absent. The gonopore, it is present only in sexually mature individuals, and it lies a little behind the mouth opening, also on the ventral surface. Okay, so this is the ventral surface. You can see the mouth and the gonopore. Okay, and through the mouth, the pharynx may remain everted, which is this everted pharynx. This portion is referred as a proboscis. Okay. So these are the various structures seen in the external, seen external. Now, when we speak about the body wall, okay, actually the body wall, it is made up of two layers. That is the epidermis here and the muscle layer. This part is the epidermis, okay, and this part is the muscle layer, okay. And in between these two, you have the basement membrane. Differentiating these two between the muscle layer and the epidermis, they have the basement membrane. Okay, and you can see here between the muscle layer of the body wall and the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal may be lying somewhere here. This is actually the dorsal body wall and this is the ventral body wall. Okay, so this dorsal body wall, the muscle layer of the dorsal body wall, and the what you call the alimentary canal may be some lying somewhere over here. And between the muscle layers, between the body wall and the alimentary canal, the space is filled with a special tissue which is known as mesenchyme. And here you can see the free cells of mesenchyme, right? Okay, so this mesenchyme fills up the space between the body wall and the alimentary canal, and this kind of a mesenchyme is typical of turbularians, right? Now, coming to the epidermis, we can see the details. The epidermis, it consists of a single layer of large columnar cells. You can see here it is very large cells, and they have a very what you call prominent rounded or oval nuclei. These are the nuclei you can see here. These nuclei, you can see it is situated towards the base of the cells, close to the basement membrane. And another important feature of the epidermal layer is the presence of rhabdites. Okay, these rhabdites are rod-shaped hyaline bodies, and they are more abundant on the dorsal side. You can see, as already mentioned, this is the dorsal body wall and this is the ventral body wall. And the ventral body wall, the rhabdites are actually almost absent except for this one. So it is very, very what you call rare in the case of ventral body wall, but here on the dorsal body wall, it is almost, it is very abundant, more abundant. Okay, and the presence of rhabdites, it is a distinctive feature of this turbulating epidermis. The rhabdites are produced by rhabdite-forming gland cells which are present close to the muscle layer. These, it is usually below the epidermis in the mesenchyme position where it is found. And these rhabdite-forming gland cells, they produce the rhabdites, and these rhabdites formed, they migrate towards the epidermis, okay, and gets distributed along the epidermis. Okay, this is what happens. I hope that part is clear. Okay, apart from these, you can also see certain other gland cells which are associated with the dorsal body wall. Okay, so this is actually a section of the pharyngeal region. Okay, this is a shape. When you take a cross section, this is how it will be. Okay, it is a transverse section. This is how it will be. You can see the cilia arranged over here, isn't it? And this part which is bare without any cilia, it is actually the adhesive zone. And all along the ventral margin, they do have the cilia arranged along the epidermal cells. Okay, this is the single layer of cuboidal or columnar cells which make up the epidermis, right? And you have the muscle layer as well. Okay, you can see these are the gland cells. Okay, and the rhabdite forming cells. You have the gland cells. You have, so all these are associated with the dorsal body wall. Okay, the major gland cells which are associated with the epidermis, it is mucus gland cells and adhesive gland cells. As the name suggests, mucus gland cell, it is for the production of mucus, and these mucus, it is more abundant on the ventral surface in the anterior part of the body. They secrete a slime, actually a slime trail for locomotion, just like I hope you remember how the snails move, isn't it? A mucus secretion, it makes a mucus trail, and it is through that the locomotion is brought about. Now the adhesive gland cells, they produce a sticky secretion, and that help in the attachment of the body and capturing prey. So these are found associated with the epidermal gland cell. Epidermal layer, right? Then we have the basement membrane. Basement membrane is a thin membrane on which the epidermal cells rest. Okay, and then we have the muscle layer. Muscle layer, it lies. It consists of elongated, contractile muscle cells, and they are produced by myoblasts. Just like the name suggests, myoblasts producing the muscle cells. Okay, now immediately below the basement membrane, the muscle cells form an outer layer of, you can see here, the circular muscles. Okay, just below the epidermis, the circular muscles forms a layer. Okay, and then a middle layer of diagonal cells. These are diagonal muscles. Okay, diagonal muscle cells, and then comes the longitudinal muscles. Okay, so we have three different layers of muscle cells which form the muscle layer. One is the outermost circular muscles, the middle one diagonal muscles, and the innermost longitudinal muscles. Okay, actually the longitudinal muscles, it is found to be more developed in the ventral body wall. Okay, you can see here, these are the longitudinal muscles. Okay, these are the longitudinal muscles, and they are more abundant in the case of, you can see it is more thicker and more abundant, right? And that is in the ventral body wall. Okay, now associated with this muscle layer are also present pigment cells that impart coloration. Okay, as already mentioned, that the dorsal and the ventral dorsal surface is more darker than the ventral surface, and it is because of the pigment cells. So pigment cells are more abundant on the dorsal body. Okay, so this is about the muscle layer. The next one is the mesenchyme. As already mentioned, the mesodermal connective tissue. Mesodermal connective tissue, it is unique about the platyhelminthes. It is a characteristic of platyhelminthes, and these mesenchymal cells fills up the interior of the body. That is, it acts as a storage of package tissue or packing tissue between various organs and between the alimentary canal and the body wall. Okay, these cells are found to be vacuolated. That means it contains large number of vacuoles, and they have irregular processes, and they fills up the space between the various organs. Okay, and these cells also serve to transport digested food as well as excretory materials. So the mesenchyme performs a role of circulatory system. Usually these platyhelminthes, the Dugesia and all, they lack a circulatory system. So the mesenchymal cells perform that kind of function as well. Okay, so as already mentioned, the mesenchymal cells, they act as packing tissue. They actually help in the transportation of digested food as well as the excretory material. So they act as a circulatory medium as well. So this is about the Dugesia. As part of your practical syllabus, you are supposed to draw this diagram. You have to learn the parts that are found when a cross section of Dugesia is taken along the pharyngeal region. Okay, so you have to draw it and learn the diagram. Okay, so this is actually the alimentary canal, and on either side you can see the muscle fibers extending between the dorsal and the ventral body wall. Right, you can see here. Right, these are the the muscle fibers. Right, and these are the intestinal ceca. These ones, intestinal ceca, and then what we have is like oviduct we have here, right? This part is vital area here, right? Okay. Then this represents the nerve cord, right? This is the nerve cord. So actually it is a nerve cord. We have actually when we take a section, this is how it is seen. Okay. Cord means a thin thread-like structure, isn't it? So it may be extending to the rest of the body, right? So this is a nerve cord, and then the flame cells here, excretory port, flame cells. So these are the structures found in the pharyngeal region. If we take a cross section, this is how it is seen. Okay, you have to draw the diagram in your record sheet. Right? Okay, thank you.